is oddly not helping.
It's actually making it worse.
Weekdays at 3 on Local 3.
Good morning. So glad to see you on what has proved to be a very yucky start to the day, but that's okay. You're hunkered down where it's nice and dry and warm, and you're choosing to watch us here on 3+U, and we are so glad that you did, not just because we always love to have you watch the show, but because you're going to get a treat. We're kicking things off with a high school rock star in a way. This is Jenna Dekich. She's a senior at Ringgold, Georgia, at Ringgold High School, and the timing of our conversation, Jenna, is perfect because all this month on the show, it's Extension Month.
Awesome.
And in Hamilton County, we've been highlighting that. Here you are in Catoosa County, but nonetheless, we're celebrating the extension and your involvement in 4-H.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
good
Thank
to
you
see
for letting me come on.
I don't quite know where to start because you're here today talking about some work that you're doing on a national level with 4-H, so we will touch on that.
Awesome.
But so y'all can understand the rock star component, you are an excellent dancer. You've just advanced to state, right?
Yes, ma'am, at our district project achievement.
You also are a poultry judge.
Yes, ma'am, through Georgia 4-H, I'm a poultry judger, and it's poultry judging season right now.
Okay, so if you've heard our conversations here about 4-H, the UT Extension and 4-H, you know the well-rounded nature of it. Part of that is oration, public speaking, which you're very good at.
Thank you.
And now here you are, I'm guessing you combine all these things into this beautiful recipe of yours, and that's what got you to be chosen as one of, is it 6 people?
Yes, ma'am, one of 6 in the country.
And you are a change maker, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a tech change maker, which our goal is to help bridge the digital divide in our communities. Through whether it's not having digital literacy or not having the access to technology that people need.
Okay, so we were chatting a little bit to try to give me a bit of an education because it's a lot to take in. You are not necessarily the one going out and coming up with the solutions, or maybe you are.
It's kind of a mix of both. We see what we kind of think about what we need in our community, and we just recently sent out a survey seeing if people would be interested in attending like a resume class, and we take what we're given as well as we are given information from the National 4-H Council on things that they see we need to improve in our community, and we kind of work together in coming up with solutions and how to solve these problems.
Okay, so as I understand it, there was originally an individual grant that one county in Georgia was received.
Yes, ma'am.
That expanded to 3, and when that happened, Catoosa jumped on it and got it.
Definitely, yes, ma'am.
So y'all then did your own kind of intel, and you decided the best way to make use of the money was to teach people not to get access to the technology, but how to use it.
Yes, ma'am. In our community, we see the digital divide less as, like you said, a lack of the technology, and more people just don't know how to use it. So our original grant started working with the senior citizens in our community to help them, you know, talk to their families better, or they love playing bingo, so play their bingo easier, and that's kind of where we started and how we've evolved now.
What great timing though, because you mentioned talking with their families when COVID hit.
Yes,
that became
ma'am.
our lifeline.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very fortunate. When I first did my training with our county to become a tech change maker locally, it was right before COVID had started. So when we started to go into the senior citizen homes in the area in Catoosa County, we noticed this is a really pressing issue as they can't see their families anymore. They need a way to communicate with them easier.
You also are using it now to help people. You referenced resumes. A lot of people lost their jobs during COVID, or things just shut down. To pivot, as they said, you've got to have a way to access this technology and maybe gain some skills that you otherwise didn't have.
Yes, ma'am. Our grant this year now focuses on those post-graduating high school and into the workforce. So we help them fill out resumes and help them with job interview skills and how to apply for colleges. That's their future and how they can get into their community and start working.
Your 4-H representative who's here with you, I think you said it's kind of like kids teaching adults. which has to be a bit of an odd feeling for you. But do you, when you're an adult and you're trying to explain something to a child who just isn't getting it, you kind of have these head-scratching moments where you think, okay, I have to be patient. So flip it. Do you ever have times as the kid where you're thinking, how can y'all not understand this? Because it's your language.
I mean, yes, ma'am, there's always times of frustration, but there's always the understanding too. As my generation, we grew up with this technology. We've never known a time without it. So having to put myself in other people's shoes, and these people, they didn't experience like I did. It came at a later time in their lives. So just taking that patience and taking that understanding and realizing it's okay, I'm just in a different time period than they are, and it's just, you just got to walk them through it.
But it must be fun when you see it click for them.
Yes, ma'am. It's such a rewarding experience to see somebody finally understand. When I was at the senior citizen area, this lady asked me how to work the clock app on her phone, and I walked her through it, and when she got to do it herself, it was such a rewarding experience that I helped her figure this out.
So when you, I guess, put your name in.
Yes, ma'am.
All of a sudden, I can't think of my word. The audition is not the right word, but applied.
Yes, ma'am.
To be a change maker. I'm guessing that there were a series of interviews that you had to go on, but did you know at the time about this digital divide, or did you learn through the process?
So to become a national tech change maker, my story, I first started in our county, and my 4-H agent, he talked about this opportunity we can all help out with, and we all just went to the training. But when I found out that there was an even higher level that I can go to as a national tech change maker, I saw the application online, and I knew I can make a change in not only my community, but if I can make a change in this country, that's such a great experience.
And to that point, you were just in Washington, D.C.
Yes, ma'am. I was chosen as a national tech change maker, and part of our training, we traveled to Washington, D.C., and we took several courses on public speaking and how to tell our stories and how to do media interviews like I'm doing with you right now, and just what our purpose is as a national tech change maker.
So you're going to graduate in May. You're a senior.
Yes, ma'am.
Will your time come to an end then when that happens, and you'll just move on to something else?
So fortunately, our time as tech change makers has recently been extended, so now we're going out to December. So even though I'll be graduating from the Georgia 4-H program in August, I will still be a national tech change maker throughout December, so I'll still get to make a difference in these lives.
And do you think that's what you'll pursue in college, as a way to keep connecting and making a difference for people?
You know, I'm so grateful for these opportunities, and I love doing it. So it can definitely become, it's a passion of mine, and I'm definitely thinking of pursuing it in the future.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for your time. And if you want to learn more about what they are doing down there, perhaps you want to get involved, or you could benefit from access to the knowledge that she and her team has, if you go to 4-h.org and then /changemakers, you can always learn more. And write her name down, Jenna Dekich. You'll be hearing more about her, I'm sure, in the years to come.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Another round? If you're buying.
Jack's new Southern Barbecue Pub Burger. 2 juicy patties topped with melty cheese, crispy bacon, French fried onions, and tangy barbecue sauce.